and get started on a new mission, a new direction, a new intention. Welcome to 5.8G Alive at Connections 50 Plus. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, catering to all your prospects in the third act of life.
Economic well-being, social gratification, personal fulfillment.
Join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Connections 50 Plus Facebook page, YouTube channel,
and on Gael the Caribbean.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to 5.8G Alive, the magazine show brought to you by Connections 50 Plus. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus, and with me, as usual.
Hi everyone, good evening. And I'm Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, the other co-creator of Connections 50 Plus.
Good evening, and I am Maureen Joanne Cohen, part of the awesome threesome.
Okay, so we had a vibrant show last week where we talked about relationships and all kinds of things. And this week we are changing pace. We are continuing the series where Jennifer, myself, and Maureen take you behind the scenes a bit to give you a sense of what drives us, what excites us. And for this show, I'm taking you a little into my life on two things that really inspire me and drive me. My love for movement and my interest in gardening. So we're going to look at my chat with Cindy Mussio, my trainer, and then we come back and Jennifer, Maureen, and I will talk about it. So hope you enjoy it.
Hello, friends. How are you? We've begun. Today is a special day. Recently, we would have done a program where Jennifer shared her garden experience and how much it helps her to reflect and so on. So it's my turn now, and I'm taking a different twist. You would have met this lady sitting next to me, Cindy Mussio. Cindy is my personal trainer and is responsible for, in large measure, keeping me energetic, keeping my muscles toned. I don't have it not shaking as much. as much. And generally keeping me on track with how I eat and what must be done. And one of the things that I have a real concern with is this whole issue of movement. You know, the world is awash with AI and TikTok and all kinds of stuff like that. And everyone is saying to us on the 5.8G stage, you got to move. Your life is in your legs and your thighs. And your second heart is your calf. A lot of people, I think, are seeing movement as exercise, as gym, as a rigid program. So today I want to, Cindy, what is movement and why is it so important to us?
Right, so movement, as you said, people look at exercise as something that's a job that's, very tedious, and it can be intimidating.
If you have the wrong trainer.
Right, so movement, being functional, is being able to do your everyday tasks with ease. That's your sitting, your standing, your washing, brushing your teeth, combing your hair, in the shower, being able to soap your back. Simple, basic things like that. Being able to sit, stand comfortably without pain. And
without pain,
without discomfort. Now that discomfort
I think
starts.
That is important.
Yes, that discomfort starts when you stop moving and you become sedentary. So the less you start moving, the more you're going to lose you're going to start losing your muscle mass, you're going to start losing your strength, you're going to start losing your mobility, your range of motion. You know, it's a whole domino effect that's going to happen.
Okay. You talk about, now I want to bring this down to, for us to realize what being sedentary does to us. And I want to start with our joints. And you said something, range of motion for joints. Because I have found recently, in the last, notwithstanding the fact that I exercise regularly, I'm pretty strong, I have fairly decent flexibility and stuff. I'm finding sometimes when I sit for a while, in, say I'm doing work on the computer in an air-conditioned room, Cindy, if I start to get up, my knees seize up, you know.
Yeah.
And what is happening to my joints and my ligaments? What is it? Is it that I have to make sure I get up and move? Because sometimes it's frightening.
They can be scary, you know, especially if you sit, you have a desk job, you sit down for a very long time, or you're in a profession where you really can't get up and move.
We are retirees.
Right? This is where you need to find an avenue that takes you out of that environment.
Yeah.
And this is where you really need to say to yourself, I need to give time to myself. I need to work on myself.
Yeah.
Right? I need to get that movement going, you know, and unless we step away, we take time away for ourselves, it's not going to happen.
But what is any movement?
Yes, any movement is movement.
What do we have to move? Because I could sit down and do this and say I move it.
You want total body movement. Total body movement means you want to work your entire body as one unit, and that's what functional training is.
Okay.
Right? Meaning you want to be able to move your neck, your arms, your legs, your hips. You know, you want to be able to rotate your obliques, your back, your spine, or your entire body. It's one unit.
So all those joints,
Yes.
because there are people who can't look left and look right.
Yes.
You heard that creak just now?
I didn't hear the creak, but not from your neck, but I hear it other places when we're training.
Yes, but all right, let's take it in body parts. Let's deal with our spine, posture, and this moving of the neck to get a full 180. Is that what we're supposed to be able to get?
Yes.
A full.
A full. You're supposed to be able to, yes.
Look to the left and look to the right.
Look to the left and look to the right. Yes.
And if you're a good macro, you could look to the right and look
To the
to
extreme
beyond.
right to the extreme left.
And what does that work? What area of our body, and how does that mobility of the neck help us to be pain free or to just have better lives? How does that help us?
That helps us. It comes down to your posture. You need to have good posture to begin with. You need to, you can't be slouched. You need to sit up tall. You need to engage your core. You need to have a straight spine. You sit up tall,
Yeah.
right? And
We look better. She tell him how to sit down. No, but if I'm also aware, and as we get older, we get this wrong back.
yes, that is from not sitting up straight.
Because we end up,
We have a tendency,
Just
when
so.
we relax, nobody does that, really. It's habit.
yeah,
You know, it's habitual. So if you're accustomed slouching all the time, that's how you're going to sit. But it's something that you also have to keep reminding yourself and
To just square the
become
shoulders.
self-aware. Make yourself self-aware. Become self-aware, you know. And it's something you have to keep reminding yourself all the time. As I said, it's habitual,
okay,
you know. And we do have a tendency, we develop all these bad habits.
yeah. Would our muscles shorten if we continue? Can our muscles stick in a...
Yes, you can
And
lose
stiff?
range of motion, yes. Yes, your muscles can tighten, your muscles can shorten, yes, with bad posture.
And that is when we get hunchback and we stay like this and we can't straighten up.
Yes.
And it hurts.
Yes.
And that is when Cindy wants me to stretch over there because my muscles are where they are. Yes. So is that something that we can reverse? Because many of us have, well, we are slumped. If we think about it now, everybody just be conscious of how you're sitting and how you're lying. Are your shoulders square? All right. Can you
Are
look
you pulling your shoulders back? Are you sitting upright?
left to right? You know, are the girls facing? Are you looking for something on the ground with the girls, or are you trying to uplift them? How do you feel yourself now? And sometimes I know that if I'm sitting badly, I can actually feel my back muscles resisting.
Getting very sore.
Yes, yes. And can we reverse that? If we find our backs are stiff, the neck is stiff, the shoulders, the range of motion. I gave you the joke the other day. Last week was Palm Sunday, and they're waving the palms in church. And I'm sorry, but everybody were waving like this. Very few of us were doing that.
Right.
Very few, and you saw them as they were going down. The palms got the elbows couldn't. They
Palms on
couldn't
the touch of ground.
go up. They couldn't go up and stay up. So what does that say about what's going on with our shoulders?
Well, it could be fatigue as well.
It's early in the morning.
Fa-
It was early in the morning.
Fatigue is something you
You're
see
not tired.
when right, and that is where your fitness comes in. You get tired quickly. Fatigue sets in very fast.
If you're not fit, you'll get tired.
If you're not fit, if you're not active, yes, you will get tired. And I see it all the time when people come to the studio. You know, you can see, and you can see how they struggle to do basic things, basic movements, and there is no stamina, there's no endurance. They can't keep their hand up for very long. They can't hold a squat for very long. And you see how quickly the fatigue sets in.
Isn't that normal with old age? Because some people will tell you, well, oh gosh, at this age, and I don't mean old age, no, 90 and stuff like that. I mean, there are 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds who will say, oh gosh, it's my age. This is what I'm not supposed to be able to have all that motion and all that kind of stuff. Is that true?
I think that's what we like to tell ourselves. We like to tell ourselves that. Because, we think, to be functional, to be fit, we think it's a job. We think it's work. So it's easier to say, well, no, this is my age, I'm supposed to feel like this. No, you're not supposed to feel like that.
What is the danger of allowing ourselves to have our bodies deteriorate in terms of our life, quality of life expectancy even?
We have a lot of, I would not say danger, but when it becomes dangerous is when you become more susceptible to falls. And that will obviously come from weakness. Weakness, not being able to balance properly.
And that's your muscles.
Those are
when
your
you
muscles.
say weakness, it's your muscles.
Muscles, yes.
Yeah.
Muscles. Because as you get older, yes, you start losing muscle. This is when you start, this is when you need to nourish your body. You need to move, you need to lift weights. You need to, and it's not that you're doing these things because you're trying to be an athlete.
Yeah.
You are trying to preserve what you have.
Okay.
That's what you're trying to do. You don't want to become weaker. You want to...
We're seeing a lot too about you've got to lift weights. You've got to do resistance more than cardio. A lot of people are saying if you're older, you have to maintain your muscle strength, you have to maintain your muscle mass to be able to stop you from falling and so on. And the way to do that is not necessarily walking 2 miles or or on a treadmill, but it is using weights to build resistance in your muscles.
Correct.
But that's, a lot of us think that if I start lifting weights, that's too much. First of all, some people may think you get bulky, you start to
Yeah,
put on
that's
weight,
not true. Yeah.
and then you can damage yourself. So why is it recommended that older persons use weights to help strengthen muscles and to build muscles? What's the danger, and does the danger outweigh the benefits, or vice versa?
No, it does not. I wouldn't say it's dangerous. It only becomes dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. That is the only way it would become dangerous. That's where the strains would come in. You know, you can tear muscles. These different things can happen. But this is where, you know, I always would recommend a trainer. Get yourself someone to work with you. You know, a lot of us, we go.
What's wrong with YouTube?
Well, you see, nothing is wrong with YouTube and with chats and all these different platforms that you have that show you these things. What is wrong with it, I would say, is coming from an individual or someone who is not aware of body mechanics and is, you know, how to train safely and, you know, different parts of your body, how you do the different types of training, you know, for strength and cardio and this type of thing. You're going to you're trusting what you're looking at.
Okay.
And a lot of stuff that I have seen out there are not safe. And also are not necessary. You know, because, you know, there are things that trend and, you know, and we try to reinvent the wheel all the time. And, you know, because we think it's boring, we want something a little more exciting, we want the likes, we want the attention, you know, but it's not.
Tell me of some experiences you've had with, and I'm staying with our cohort, who believe that they may be training themselves well, but when they present themselves to you for one thing or the other, you can see that they are not comprehensive or holistic. You know, that something is wrong. What are some of the things that you would see?
First thing I see is improper form. That's the first thing. The exercises are not executed properly, and which can lead to injury.
Because you're looking at the video and you're not looking at a mirror, so you don't know what your body is doing.
Well, not that you're not looking at, you know, not that you're not looking at a mirror or you're looking at a video, but I mean, if you're looking at a video, you may think you're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's different in comparison to having someone who is trained to explain to you and show you the correct way. And this is something that has been done all the time in my years in this field. You know, the first thing, you know, you hear about somebody training all the time, they've been to the gym, they're a gym rat, they're doing this, they're doing, you know, these different people, and they come to you and it's like, listen, you have no form. Where is your form? You know,
or strength and imbalance and strength in different parts of the body and
correct.
so on.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I will say something. I am not necessarily advocating that everyone goes out and you hire a trainer or you join, whatever it is. But I think it is at least important for all of us. Just as if you're going to start a new diet, a new regime, you go to your doctor, you get a check, and you have your doctor give you advice. I think it is as important for movement that you go to someone who is certified
Correct.
and get yourself assessed in terms of what is your baseline,
Yes.
where you are, and what areas need attention.
Yes, even if, you know, you want to, you know, have someone get that advice in the initial stages, have somebody correct you, have somebody to show you the correct thing, your proper form, how to isolate your muscles, different parts of your body, how to do different, you know, movements correctly. In the initial stages, I think it's a great idea. And then, because I have had a lot of people who have started with me and who have moved on, they do their own thing, they do it correctly.
Not Terri-Ann. Listen, I will tell you all, I do not do any exercise unless someone is in front of me saying to do it. I am not self-motivated in that way at all, at all, at all. So
It does take a lot. Self-motivation does take a lot.
takes a lot.
There are days when you do have to dig deep, you know,
Yeah.
to find that for yourself.
Yeah. But let's talk about some of the things, just one or two things. You know, there is sarcopenia, this gradual loss of muscle tone, muscle structure, and so on, which people old age shrinking, which people see as par for the course. Is it necessarily par for the course, or is it just a consequence of sedentary living?
I think it's a consequence. It is a
Yeah.
consequence because, yes, it will happen, but you don't want to speed up the process.
Yeah.
You want to slow that process down.
Yeah, and that gives us a reason to consciously move. All right. So Cindy, let's talk about, all right, we're moving. We're not in the gym, we're just around the place, because I want to go on to the other side of move, which is we build our muscles, but if we're building our muscles, we got to feed our muscles.
Yes,
And
of
we
course.
have to feed our systems.
Yeah.
But what are the basic moves that we must do? For instance, I know a squat
Yes.
is critical.
Yes. I would think it is. I would
Right.
think so. We sit all the time.
The squat takes you further. And if people were to just check themselves at home, how can, and that's a test of how strong your legs and hips are.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
What would be a fairly reasonable check on that? How would I know if I'm going to test myself at home? What can I do? Just squat?
Just squat. You can do a few, and I would suggest you use support, meaning you could actually do it on your chair.
Yeah.
So it's to squat. You sit on your chair
Okay.
and you get up.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
As
the good
opposed to
old
doing
chair sits.
yes, as opposed to doing free squats.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a good way to check, because nobody sits and get up and sit and get up.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
So you can do at least 5 sit and get up
You can do like 10. Do 10. 10.
without holding on.
Without holding on, yes.
All right. Just do your own test.
A nice firm chair. A firm
Yeah.
chair would be really good, not those spongy,
Okay.
cushy.
So 10 sit up and what else? What else can we do? Our arms carry us. We cook, we clean, we reach, we put away groceries, we carry grocery bags, so we don't carry bags, we don't carry weights, grip strength,
Yeah.
all those things.
Some arm circles are really good. Do arm circles. 20 each direction.
Like the Palm Sunday, they can do arms.
I think that was waving, you said.
But they had to keep the hand up.
And then you have the shoulder presses. This is without the weights. Yeah. I mean, 20 is pretty easy. 40. Without weights.
Cindy, if they could make 10, good.
You know, but you have the arm circles. Nice
Yeah.
big arm circles.
All right.
20.
And that makes sure you have a full range of motion with your
Yes.
shoulders.
Yes.
Which is so important. Yeah. All right. So we've dealt with the arms. What about your back? You get a lot of stiffness in your back, and you want to just open up those back muscles and give yourself some. The spine to me sometimes seems to seize up and
You get a little stiff.
causes a lot
Yeah.
of pain, and I know it comes from posture. But what apart from, all right, sitting ramrod straight all the time, what can we do to just give ourselves some ease and tease those muscles back into?
On the chair, if you're sitting, there are simple, just bending over movements you could do. Bending over, holding on to your legs, take a few breaths. Then you can get your arms up. You could turn to the side, just tilt to open
Okay.
up the obliques.
Yes.
You know, you have your.
And obliques are the muscles,
Yes,
the
on the
muscles
side.
on the side. Yeah.
These are simple things that you could do when you're
Okay.
sitting.
So it's like the head movement.
You could do your little neck circles.
So when you're looking at the neighbor and you move your head,
You can
if you
pretend.
twist your spine, you could look further. You see? If you leave it to the head, you could only see so. But if you put your spine in it, You can get
Once you have
360.
no pain, yes, you can do a nice rotation on the spine and hold for a few seconds and come back.
Yeah. It is really very, and we talked about the legs and the hips. The hips. A lot of us would have problems with our hips. How can we release these hips? Just get our hips to be a bit easier.
You can sit, you can stretch your legs out, you can lift your legs up, you can open them up, down, side to side. You know, you could do a little stretch out your hamstrings. You fold your legs like the figure four.
The
and
hamstrings
you
are the ones
lean
behind.
your
and
legs,
the
you
quads
glute
are
your
the ones in
hamstrings.
front.
Yeah, simple figure four as you're sitting on the chair, fold your leg and just bend over. And you get that stretch behind your leg.
All right.
So there are many stretches you can do and movements you can do while you're seated.
I think we can go on YouTube and look for those movements. But what I want people to get from us is that it is so very, very important for us to have the capacity to move, and we need our muscles to move. If we don't have good muscle structure, muscle form, if we don't work our muscles, they can't save us in a fall. They can't carry us very far, and we're going to
It's
be in
less,
trouble.
it's less likely those things will happen.
Yes.
So it's more about prevention.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so we are talking, and we're going to have other conversations about movement and exercise, and we're going to get into it. But one thing that I am also very passionate about is how we eat. And I am not talking about diet. Diet is...
I don't like that word.
It's not a good word. It
I
is
don't
not
like
a
that
good word.
word.
That's all. I don't like the idea of dieting. It starts with the word die. So it makes no sense. All right? So when we look at the food we eat, probably it's my background in retail, food retail and so on, I feel very concerned that a lot of us are forced, because of economics, to make really poor food choices and not get enough vegetables. We start our meals with carbs, bad carbs, fried things, and we probably don't see the importance, or I don't know if it's we don't see the importance, but probably don't know how important it is to have that vegetable side in our diet. The macronutrients that come from green things. Is that something that is important?
It is very important, and I wouldn't, I wouldn't say just vegetables, but on the whole, we need to consume a lot of clean, whole foods. You need to see your ingredients, and it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. We complicate this all the time, too many times.
So we have to identify what we eat.
Yes.
All right.
Can't get any simpler than that.
So-
You need to see your meat, your vegetables, your peas.
So it
your
mustn't be a
beans.
mush or in a case.
It mustn't come from a pack. Processed. Once it's processed, no.
Yeah.
We're not going to get any of the nutrients that we need. And that affects your muscle recovery. That affects the way you feel, your weakness, your strength. If you're not getting any nourishment from anything, your body has nothing to run on. Food is fuel.
So for those of us who exercise and we work very hard, but then we run to the nearest restaurant or whatever it is, and we buy, whether it is the they'll say fried chicken, you're seeing the chicken, and fries, you're seeing the potato.
Right.
So that's whole food.
That's whole food, but I also mentioned clean food.
Oh. And what is clean food?
Clean food is food in its purest form for the most part. So you don't want all the condiments, all the mayonnaise, the ketchup. Food is not unhealthy, is what you put on it that makes it unhealthy.
So if I fry chicken at home and I go to Churches or Wendy's or KFC, what's the difference?
The difference is you need to put your chicken in an air fryer or bake it or grill it. You're not frying that chicken, right? A saturated fat, you're not doing that. No, I'm not saying you cannot have it.
Yeah. I don't have it.
But no, it can't be like an every week treat, right? So the same way that we are consistent in eating all this processed and fast food, we need to be consistent in eating clean,
Okay.
whole foods.
And especially for those of you who are not yet diabetic, or don't yet have a kidney problem, or don't yet have a cardiac emergency.
Yeah.
This is the way to avoid it.
Of course, of
Clean
course.
whole
It's
foods.
not too late. It's really not too late to clean out your
Yeah.
diet, to
Yeah.
clean out your nutrition. It really isn't. It isn't too late.
Yeah. Because, I saw something. I think we change every cell in our body every year, or every 7 years, is it? Some cells you change out every year. And in 7 years, every single cell in your body has changed. So, it's theoretically possible that if you start now,
Yes.
you can change, you can become a different person in 7 years' time.
That's a long time.
Well, every cell. Some could
Yeah.
change in a year, some could change in a couple of months.
But you will definitely feel the difference. From the time you start making that change, you will feel the difference in your body. There are things that hold you back. And I
Yeah.
see it all the time when, people come to me. Yeah, you train very hard, but then you have no energy when you come. You're very fatigued. You still have this level of weakness, and it's because you're not nourishing your body, you're not putting any nutrients that your body
Clean
needs.
whole foods.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I do, and it's something that I love to do, is to garden. Right? And I think it can be a challenge to have consistently available whole foods, especially vegetables. And I am putting a plug here for everyone to start in some minimal little way, 1 pot, 2 pots, a home garden. It is so important to add variety to the foods that you eat, and to give, you can experiment. So one of the things I wanted to do with Cindy today is we can do a little walk through
Yes, of course.
my acre. I don't have an acre. I don't have an acre. I live on 1 plot of land. And I have a very interesting way of putting in as much high nutritional value food to supplement what I get in the grocery.
Of course, yes.
So I will be happy to have you all come along and look at my efforts, and I hope to inspire you to at least try something.
Of course, definitely.
And Cindy could talk about what I'm doing. Okay, so let's go check into the garden. Okay, so one of the things that I want everybody to know about my garden is that I am not a gardener. I don't believe in bending over to do my gardening. So most of my plants come up to me. So we are going to go through what I call my orchard. All right. Everyone can have a good laugh at my orchard, but here is my orchard. Cindy, this is my guava. Now if you go by Jennifer, you'll see a nice big guava tree. So my guava tree, I've not gotten a guavas yet, and it's because it's in a pot. But guava leaves are also very nutritious, and they make a wonderful tea.
Right.
They make a wonderful tea if you want to sleep or something. So if you have a little guava plant somewhere, you can get that benefit. And I also, this is my citrus orchard. All right. So my orange tree.
Oranges.
I have an orange, and I have about 7. I identified 7 oranges. Here's another one. And they are all in half barrels, and these trees are about 2 years old. My lime tree died, and I have a hell of a beanstalk of a bhaji growing there. So I'm not going to get rid of it. So here we have bhaji, edible.
That is really nutritious.
Yeah, and I have a lemon tree here. again, all in half barrels. Tons of lemons. And my pawpaw tree is not the healthiest, but I have 2 pawpaws. So this is my fruit orchard. So Cindy, we were talking about movement.
Yes.
And one of the things with gardening is that you see the bending and the shaking,
Yes.
and I say about it. So I brought my garden up to me.
Which I found was a really good idea. It would actually help you, tent it more.
So you see my acreage and what
Yes.
is planted in my acreage.
Okay.
So I go to raised beds, and that is my whole raised bed. All right, so I have tarragon planted, which is a beautiful, nice herb, and I'm going to start. I have a little watermelon that's not looking too good here. I mean, I really have no shame putting this on the show, but it's okay.
It's okay. I mean, it's a start, and
I
it gives you ideas.
Pomsy tea. I have melanjan, sour sop, lime. I have poi bhaji that is starting here. My cage is unnecessary because I have iguanas, and some young okras. And this is my pride and joy, my little bed. Because these are carrots, Cindy.
Yes.
They grow well, and the tops are so delicious. They could be used like how I use parsley or spinach. And I have this nice cabbage that is going to be harvested soon enough, and some beets at the back and side. So, and there is my okra. And we have the end of my tomatoes. So, okay. Again, I use horizontal barrels, and this barrel, and I'm not making it pretty, I'm doing it so that people understand how easy it can be.
Yeah.
These fine little ones would have been planted from cuttings from the market. And these big, this is called blue side. I would
Okay.
have bought 1 or 2, but they just keep coming back.
Right.
And you see this dinosaur looking garden. My kale plants.
This is gorgeous.
All of these are kale leaves that I've consumed. It keeps coming.
Oh, wow.
These plants are
Okay.
about 2 years old, and they're just about to go. I have another set that is growing, but again, and I'm showing it to show that these things get cut up. They go into eggs, they go into meats, into rice, into all kinds of things, and it's, you could put it in a pot. I'm afraid of rodents and stuff, so it has to be off the ground for me.
Right.
So this is my kale and seasoning box. All right, Cindy. So this side of the garden is the part that I am now cultivating, and I am focused on cruciferous vegetables
Yes.
because they are supposed to be very nutritious, good for
High
muscles,
fiber. Of course.
fiber, and regenerative. So
Correct.
they are almost to be done, and this is the side that I'm concentrating on. So I'll call this my food side. Okay. Right. So here's my other set of half barrels, and here, of course, I have iguanas around me, so I have to protect my plants. So it's chicken wire, and I made these things, so it's not that you need anything special. So this is where I have my cabbage. I think I can take one off. All right, freedom for you. This is a broccoli. This is my broccoli plant. This is broccoli. This is cabbage, and I believe this might be another broccoli also. I have young kale. See the dinosaur kale we saw on the other side?
Right.
All right, this is how they look. This is kale also. And I can start cutting these and using these, and they just keep replenishing.
When you pick them like this, can you eat the stem? Because
Yeah, I eat everything.
they tender.
Yeah,
Because I usually strip it, like if I purchase it.
No. I would take the leaves off and I'll use the stems and I'll cut it up like a sauteed onions and carrots first.
Oh,
I will
look at
put
that.
these
Good idea.
stems. Yeah. So this is my kale, broccoli, another cabbage. This little one here is cauliflower. Yeah. And the same is repeated on that side. But and here I have my romaine lettuce. I'm going to cut a few for you. See, Cindy? No chemicals. It's completely organic. We can eat it. How does it taste?
That is good.
Romaine lettuce. Nice bitter. And my tomatoes are coming up. I have basil, bhaji, pimento pepper this side there, and ginger. Bell ginger. And then across here, I have some parsley.
I am really fascinated.
And I just picked 3 okras from my okra tree.
Yeah, these are really good.
Does this look difficult?
It does not look difficult.
That romaine lettuce tastes well.
It is really good. And some olive oil. Oh my god.
I'll pick some and give it to you.
This is not difficult because it's things that you're going to be using all the time.
Yeah.
Nice basic ingredients.
Yeah. And I think it's a nice way to get micronutrients into food very quickly. And they really give you a boost. These are
Of
my
course.
vitamin supplements.
Yes, and you see it in your performance. Isn't she aging backwards? She slowed down that whole process.
It's because that I choose to eat clean whole foods.
Correct.
But I think it is so important, Cindy, so important for
Yeah.
us to move, eat well
Correct, yes.
as a critical part of aging. And I have to thank you because, again, functional training, this is what I do with Cindy to keep my body going. It's not, I don't live, yeah, she's giving me some weight, something, but it's not a gym rat. But what would you say to our members, the people who are looking on as we're getting into our third app about movement and about making sure that we have consistent supplies of nutritionally dense foods?
That this is a choice that we have to make. We do not need to feel the way that we are feeling. If we are feeling lethargic, if we are feeling fatigued, if we get tired quickly, you're sleepy, you're not motivated, it's a choice that we need to make for ourselves. And once we make that choice, we don't want to speed up that aging process. We want to slow it down. We don't want to encourage all these things that happen naturally as the natural degeneration. We don't want to speed that up.
Yeah. And movement, clean food.
Yeah, just keep active, eat clean, eat whole, keep it simple. Simplicity is the best.
Great. Cindy, thank you so much for coming and joining me in my garden run. This was fun. So we'll be on very soon to chat with Jennifer and Maureen with Cindy about what we've been talking about. So
Yes.
take care. You have a bouquet of plants.
I
So
do.
what you have in your hand? You have romaine and basil.
And basil.
Can make a nice pesto.
Yes.
And then you have
Pak choy, shadow benny, chives, ginger, lettuce. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. I'm leaving with a garden. My own garden.
Very good.
All right, Jennifer and Maureen, that was moving Terri-Ann and farmer Terri-Ann.
Well, I am more familiar with Cindy because she did a show for us already, and then she joined us when we were in the gardens doing movement and sharing again some of the tips. So I totally, actually, as a result of the show she did and being at our outing at the gardens, hearing her again, repeating some of the things, reminded me. I did have a lot of takeaways from Sydney. I did do a lot of, you know, certain things she recommended, and knowing that you work along with her, and I'm seeing the results. What I did, and she mentioned definitely movement. This is something I do all the time. I always do because I always take walks or go to the gym, etc. But more recently, something that was said when you asked a question about using YouTube videos, and she mentioned, of course, you have the pros and cons on that. But and then again, it was mentioned that before you take action, you should really seek the advice of a professional. And having gone through my episode with the cancer and being now managing my health, I definitely saw the wisdom in seeking the advice of a professional before I do anything. So I didn't have a personal trainer before, but I did use a dietitian. So I went to a dietitian to discuss my situation and to give me, as you said, I don't like to say diet, but she, in terms of the things I've recommended that I should focus on. And when you spoke to Cindy and you shared, especially Garden part about, and she shared too what we should look at in building ourselves. So it's not just movement, but what we put in our bodies. That really hit home to me because having spoken to the dietitian, I am guided by certain things. For me, what to eat and what I should eat. And also, I also had, that dietitian really did a lot, similar to Cindy, but in a different way. Focus on the parts of your body that you should really, focus on. So what I did use YouTube. I went to YouTube and put in the information, and I was able to get, this is actually a person I put in my situation in terms of being a cancer patient, a lot of things about me being hypertensive, etc. And I was guided to this person I'm using now, who actually is a doctor also and specialized in yoga for breast cancer patients who recovering, especially if you had radiation, etc. And her focus on certain aspects of your body with the stretching and breathing, etc. So I totally agree that it's not one size fits all. And if not using a personal trainer, we should at least go to the professional to get guidance before we start. And even on YouTube, I think it's important to look for a professional also on YouTube who specializes with your particular type of situation. I think that is very, very important because certain exercises I used to do before I do it. Then they also mentioned for our age group doing the training, and that I actually included. I didn't do it before, but I bought weights. I bought ankle weights and the dumbbells and the what do you call it, bands. And I use that, but again, I have to be very careful. And I use a professional to show me what I have to do because I am very disciplined. Terri-Ann has said that she needs somebody to guide her. After you show me how I could use, I bought whatever was recommended, and I'm very careful how I use it. So I just want to reinforce those points that I found extremely beneficial to me. I would advise everybody to, yes, we need movement. We need to look at what we're eating, but I would advise, seek a professional advice
Yeah.
and have guidelines before you start. So that's my what I have to say on it so far. Yeah.
Yes, Maureen.
Yeah. Well, I'm the note taker. So if you see me looking down, it would be that I'm looking at my notes as the discussion that that you had with the personal trainer, and also your holistic approach to wellness as well. Because I was enamored by the fact that you are a horticulturalist or even an agriculturalist. These are new talents that have just
My
emerged.
acreage. My
So
acreage.
my
And
acreage.
my 1
So
acre of land.
I was mesmerized, but the thing that stayed with me is the fact that the lime tree died. Why did the lime tree die? But that's for another topic.
And the
That's
big
another
branch come
topic.
up in its place.
And a big bad she's there saying, but how many meals is she going to have with that? But of course, that is me again, the way I would look at things versus how other people would see a scenario. So some of the things that stuck with me was that when she spoke about your body, and in my interpretation, what I got is like your body is an alarm system that sends you messages, but that many times we override that system and we don't pay attention or we ignore the signals that are coming to us. And I mean, that was insightful for me because it's true. You may feel a little ache and pain, or you may see some differences, but you tell yourself it's aging. And she clearly said, no, 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 no. There is a problem. There is a situation which needs to be addressed. And so, that was something that I said, okay, I have to focus on and really stop deceiving myself.
Yeah.
And start really looking at what's happening with me and my body and my health and wellness. The other thing too that I wrote here about is that she said movement is a powerful predictor of how long you live, how you recover from illnesses, and maintain your independence. Again, that too struck me because most people who speak to our age group would speak about your physical movement and ensure that you drink your water and your lemon. But if you put it in the context of wellness, mental, physical, spiritual, social, and really start to look at yourself in terms of where you are now and what you could do to sustain your viability moving forward, because a lot of us are independence is a key momentum for our future. So I looked at that as well and said, well, okay, these are some of the areas that need to be addressed along that continuum. But I like the fact that she was very practical about what you could do in that regard. She also talked about the psychology of wellness, right? Again, which I understand and which I endorse, because she talked about the triggers, like that will release the endorphins and make you happy, your happy pills, and certainly the importance of muscle as it relates to happiness, because a lot of us kind of like look at happiness in the context of emotion, but not look at happiness from the perspective of physical wellness and how physical wellness certainly helps us to develop mental, spiritual, and social wellness. So the other thing too that I liked about the discussion you had is the part about your behavioral choices and decisions as well, right? Because a lot of us are stuck in our old paradigms, or a lot of us, the way we view where we are now has to do with where we came from. She didn't really focus on where you came from because it's not important.
Nope.
question is if this is where you are at now, and this is what you need to do now, for sustainability, and self-care. It wasn't the kind of thing where you're looking at it. And she said that. She said, look, I'm not talking about diet, right? And that in itself was something else, that those keywords, those trigger words, those words that inhibit us from actually wanting to be well and stay well and do those things which will facilitate our wellness. And wellness not from a position of longevity, because I thought about it too. I said, like, I come from a family lineage where longevity uh, forms part of the profile, but longevity to what end? Because most of the people who lived long ended up with dementia and other illnesses. So the question is, they were here physically, but we were the ones who had to take care of them because they did nothing with the rest, the 8 and 10 and 12 and 15 years. So it triggered that kind of concept as well. It's not about the length of life, but the quality of my life, right? Even if you have longevity genes, what does that mean? Um, and the final thing I looked at as well was about not caring about other people's opinions and not wasting my life and my time about other people and what they did, what they say, how they did it, whatever that I can do and will do as it relates to eating, exercise, fresh air, choices and decisions, all of those things within the ambit of my control, and that I have to make it my business and recognize that my value at this time is to use my time wisely, but also to do those things that will, encourage my happiness and wellness, and also facilitate, the quality of life that I would like to live for however long, I have left. So those are my thoughts on the
Yeah.
on listening to the video and experiencing the trainer and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's so sad. Many people, when they think, and we did, when we talked about this segment, we deliberately talked about movement, and we left out
Yeah,
exercise, we left out those words, because
yeah,
I think a lot of people don't realize that throughout your life, your muscles and your skeleton work together to carry you. And the
yeah,
muscles and work with your circulatory system and your lymphatic system and your hormonal system
yeah,
to send enzymes and energy and hormones to different parts of your body that allows you to live. And we could say it in one word: energy. It's something that we talked about that was offline. And Jennifer, you know about this because you're an energy coach. A big part of we could have all the money in the world. We could be as beautiful as whatever it is. But the thing that exudes from us, that draws people to us and makes us interesting, is that energy field that we get out. And a big part of harnessing your energy is having a capable body, a functional body. And little things, you're in your house, your sweeping could be a pain, you can't reach the top shelf, you can't maneuver things with your hands, you can't bend, you can't sit down or get up without assistance. And so many of us take these things as a natural part of aging, and let it happen is okay, but those things seep your energy, and many of us use aging as an excuse to not take care of ourselves. And I hope people realize that this doesn't require an expensive gym membership. I like working with individuals because I sit down and watch the TV and I watch the exercise equipment. I'm social in that way. But I really, really hope people realize how important it is to take care of your body, the muscular system that keeps us upright or wherever we want to be and could have us going. And the reason that I choose to garden in the way that I garden is that I think you could get staples pretty cheaply in Trinidad. I could get provision easy. I could get rice. I could get pasta. Um, I'm not into mining chickens and I don't want to do animal husbandry, so I'll face the market with the prices. But the micronutrients that come from greens cause your body to use the other macronutrients, your carbohydrates, fats, and proteins more efficiently. And it helps you to be healthier, heal better. And those are the things that are ridiculously expensive, but they're also very easy to plant in a pot or in a something. And they're very cheap. $1 for a seedling, a romaine lettuce seedling versus one bundle of romaine lettuce for $35 in the grocery. And you just have to wait 3 or 4 weeks. So I make deliberate choices about how I take care of myself, my food, my choice of my garden is about supplementing things that I can grow myself and it's good for me. And I think it goes a long, long way in making me a happy, energetic person who enjoys life, no matter what life brings to me. And I really hope that people got that and enjoyed my acreage.
Yeah. You know, the other thing that I got from that too, Terri-Ann, is the fact that it's a healthy option and it's a healthy routine that is required of you. So it gives purpose. And that is what a lot of people miss. You know, you in the morning you get up and you have nothing to do. And so you stay in your bed and scroll on your phone. And because you don't have a purpose. But if you have something that requires your attention, because when you had work, you had things that required your attention. No, but those labels are now gone. So you now have, and more than requiring your attention, it requires your routine attention. So you have to be deliberate and specific and intentional. So you're using more than your hands, and you're also getting the vitamin D from the sun. It's a question of, I mean, like me, I have a few plants, thank God they didn't die as yet, but I think a lot of that has to do with me talking to them. I try not to talk to them about my problems because I'm sure that will kill them. So, I try to stimulate them and, encourage. What happened to you today, girlie? Leaves falling off. Why, sir? Not enough,
Yeah.
and then too, it doesn't only keep you there, it also activates the brain as well, because now there may be information that you require. So you have to search that information. So you're either reading or talking
Yeah.
to somebody else or getting on the net or, getting into a society or a common group of people
It
who,
makes you social because you have to
so
find
it's
plants.
social,
You have
right?
to find
Exactly. So
plants.
right away, your network has been developed and the stimulation is there. And of course, from that, other conversations come up as well, because one conversation breeds another conversation.
Yeah.
And before you know it, your day is done and you feel accomplished and you there's a reason for living. So it's not only that it nurtures you physically, but it nurtures you emotionally and mentally
Absolutely.
as well. So that is something that I think that a lot of people need to look at as well. Because many times you hear people say, I need a hobby, I don't know what I'm good at, I don't know what to do. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Feed
both you
yourself.
and Jennifer have shown the benefits of starting in your own backyard. Starting in your own backyard, in your
Yeah.
acreage.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
It is not hard. It is not hard. You are passionate about something and you just like something as simple and another thing. I have a lot of clothes that I need to mend. I need to make adjustments to and stuff like that. And I have this old sewing machine. And the other day I saw this retiree sewing program that is
Yeah,
a group of 4 and somewhere in Europe. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to
yeah,
sign up because
yeah,
you get there not only with it keep your brain active, you meet people, you do things. It's really very easy for us to make excuses to opt out of living and then blame aging on your reduced circle and just a lack of dynamism in your life and stuff like that. But if we are proactive and if we are honest about really where we are at, we can be as happy as we want to be and as we choose to be, and it
yeah.
can all be done within our own resources. And that is something I dare someone to prove me wrong.
And what you're saying there as well, Terri-Ann, is that real wellness is behavioral.
Yeah.
It is not a thought. You have to do something. You have to get up and do something. The issue of whether you like it, whether it will fail, or none of those things have any bearing on the fact that you've made the effort and that the stimulation is there and that the interest is there. And interest is a thing that once you any behaviors are like that. As long as you engage in an activity, you will then begin to appreciate the activity and it becomes, part of your psyche and you actually miss it. Because
Yeah.
I know some people who like gymming. Now, I'm not a gym person, and not today, tomorrow, anytime soon. But you'll hear them say that they miss going to the gym. And I would ask the question, well, what it is they miss? Not only exercise, but the socialization, the interface, the routine, the stimulation, the very idea of knowing you have somewhere to go and people to meet, places to go, things to be seen, and of course, and so that's it. The brain again, wired in a particular way. And if you don't ignite and you don't spark that interest and really be motivated to get something done, you can't, thinking about it doesn't take you anywhere. You have to be motivated. It's behavioral and you have to, and the thing too is that a lot of people believe that motivation comes before behavior. It does not. As a result of behavior, motivation is increased. So I hear people say that as well too, that I'm not motivated. You're not motivated because you're not doing anything. You have to get up and do something. And if you do something, then your motivation will increase and also a whole new world is opened up onto you. So you are then able to decide, well, what next and what else and who you might want to include. And sometimes that you don't want to include anybody, and that's fine. You enjoy your own company and learn that, hey, you are your own best friend, and that's fine too.
Definitely. Great. Well, I'm glad that we enjoyed that session.
We did.
And so next week, we are on to another very interesting topic because we had our meetup last week and our meetup on relationships. You all missed a good one. And meetups are private, so what was said in the meetup stays in the meetup. So, you look out for our meetup topics sometimes, and we'll see you in the meetup next Wednesday, and the following Wednesday we'll be back live with 5.8 Live. So take care. Bye.
50 Plus Tribe and follow us from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback. Bye for now.